Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sports Corner at Choose Adventure Media. Today we got something a little different for you. I will be playing the new College Football 26 and talking some college football. There's a bunch of really good games, obviously week one, so I'm really excited to talk about them, and today we'll be starting with Texas at Ohio State. I'm really excited for this one, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, we will go ahead and get the game set up. At Ohio State, one of the toughest places to play. And let's see here. Texas Longhorns. Alright, and I'm actually going to be playing as the Buckeyes. I know that's a little controversial, but I really want to play with Jeremiah Smith. Best player in the game, best player in college football. Really want to play with him. And for the uniforms, let's see. Gotta love the all-black jerseys for the Buckeyes. Alright, and yes, I play on All-American. Let's see. Playbook, let's run the Ohio State offense so we can make it as realistic as possible. 4-2-5, that's what they run in real life, so we'll run with that. Alright, let's get into it. Oh, last settings, big game team. It's going to have the big game announcers, of course. And then for the time, it's a noon kickoff. I know Texas really wanted to change it from a noon kickoff, but Ohio State wanted to change it from a noon kickoff, but Texas said no, so it's going to be a noon kickoff. Alright, let's go.
Here we go. Texas versus Ohio State, a rematch of that Cotton Bowl semifinal playoff collision where the Buckeyes survive. Both replacing a lot of stars from those teams. Both expect to contend for a championship this season. Welcome, the old horseshoe in the banks of the Olentangy.
There's Julian Sain and Ryan Day. I'm glad they finally got the coaches in the game. That's really exciting, and the game was definitely missing that last year.
Taking on the third-ranked team, the Ohio State Buckeyes. 3A Sports, I'm Chris Fowler, joined in the booth by Kirk
The Buckeyes have a lot of talent and a lot of production from last year's team to replace, so it's going to be really interesting having a big test early. Texas obviously has a lot of that to replace as well, but I think the Buckeyes have a little bit more, and also the Buckeyes won the national championship, so obviously it's going to be more eyes on them. Right. And then before I actually get into the kickoff, I want to go through just to highlight some key players on both teams. So we'll start with Ohio State. This is still a very active quarterback battle that I think is going to go well into fall camp and may not be decided until the week one, or may at least be announced until week one. Julian Sain, Lincoln Keenholz, and Tavian St. Clair. I think Tavian St. Clair kind of has an uphill battle being a true freshman. He's very talented, but I just think Ryan Day wants a little bit more experience. Maybe he'll get a start later in the season, but I think week one, I don't think it's likely. I think it's really the week one starter for the Texas game is really between Julian Sain and Lincoln Keenholz. Both very talented, kind of bring you very different things. Lincoln Keenholz is a big dude, more of a running threat, while Julian Sain, like his archetype says, is more of a pocket passer. I'm probably giving the nod to Julian Sain, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln Keenholz starts. This is my biggest question on the Buckeyes offense is what's the production going to be like from the running back position? Obviously, they had two of the best running backs in college football last year in Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. They bring in James Peoples from West Virginia, or I'm sorry, CJ Donaldson from West Virginia. So it's going to be really interesting if these guys can replace that production, because that was a major part of the Buckeyes offense last year. Obviously, wide receiver, the Buckeyes are obviously going to be loaded. Wide receiver U, Jeremiah Smith, best player in the game. Really excited to play with him. Carnell Tate, I think he's going to take a big step this year. He's a really young player. I think he's just now 18 or 19 years old. So I think he's going to take a big step. Brandon Inniss didn't get to play a lot last year, but he showed flashes when he did. I think he'll take a big step this year. I'm never going to doubt the Buckeyes wide receivers. All right. Tight end, Max Clare. They bring him in from Purdue. Very excited to see how he does. The Buckeyes haven't in recent years used their tight ends a ton, but I think that may change this year. And the offensive line is also a big question. They lost a lot of guys from last year's team. I do think they will end up starting Ethan Onyanwa at left tackle. Even though he's a freshman, he's incredibly talented. And the defense, obviously they lost a lot of production here too, but Kenyatta Jackson played a decent amount last year. Bo Atkinson played it a lot last year. And then, of course, do they have a free safety? They have the best defensive player in college football, hands down, in Caleb Downs. I love this guy. I have a short on him. Absolutely love him. I think he's incredibly smart. I think he can really do anything. The way he sees the game, the way he reads the field, I think he's incredibly talented physically and mentally, and I think he could be a top 5 pick in the 2026 NFL draft. All right, and we'll go to Texas. And, of course, where it all starts with Texas is going to be here at quarterback. Arch Manning. My pick going into the season to win the Heisman. I think he's incredibly talented. I don't think it's just because of his last name. Absolutely love Arch Manning. He can do anything you want, and I love his mobility. The running back. Probably the deepest part of their offense is going to be at the running back position. Quintravion Wisner was over 1,000 yards last year. CJ Baxter was out last year with a knee injury, but as a true freshman in 2023, really showed some flashes of potential. And Jarrett Gibson also stepped up big last year. I think these three guys are going to get a lot of touches, and it's going to help Arch Manning a lot going into 2025. Then at wide receiver, we have Ryan Wingo. I love Ryan Wingo. I honestly think an 86 is too low for him to be rated. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in college football already, and I think he's going to show that early on in the season. Very excited about Ryan Wingo, and him and Arch Manning already have a great connection. I love it. Jack Endries, they bring him in from Cal. Again, Steve Sarkisian does love to use his tight ends. He showed that at Alabama, and he showed that so far in his tenure at Texas. I think the tight end is going to be a big part of this offense, especially with what he likes to do with a lot of play action and a lot of Y cross, which is where the Y or a tight end is cutting across the field kind of after a play action of getting the defense to move in the opposite direction. Trevor Gooseby, very talented left tackle for the Longhorns. They lost a lot of production from the offensive line from last year, but they didn't bring in a single transfer. And I think what that says is Steve Sarkisian is very comfortable with who he has. So I think the Longhorns offensive line will shock a lot of people, and is going to be a lot better than expected. And then the defense is just absolutely loaded. I mean, let's start here with Colin Simmons, just an absolute freak. Anytime a defensive lineman has a single-digit number, you know he's a beast. And then, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. And then they bring in transfer Cole Brevard, and then they bring in Travis Shaw. I believe Cole Brevard's from Purdue, and I believe Travis Shaw they bring in from North Carolina. They did lose a lot of really good talent from the interior of that defensive line from last year's team. A lot of guys got drafted, but they brought in a ton of transfers. Oh, I don't think this is how the actual depth chart is going to look. I think it's going to be Cole Brevard and Travis Shaw. Just with that experience, I think will be the two starters at the defensive tackle / nose tackle positions. Let's see. Anthony Hill Jr., absolutely love him. He's a sideline to sideline defender, can cover anywhere in the field. I think he's incredibly talented. He's going to be a first round draft pick. Trey Moore, again, same thing. Elite pass rusher. And then we have Malik Muhammad and Kobe Black as a sophomore. As a true freshman, was very talented, so absolutely love him. And then, let's see. And then Michael Taff. Great story if you haven't heard it. He started as a walk-on at Texas, and he's worked his way up, and he was the second-team All-American last year. Incredibly talented, lots of experience, played a lot of ball. He's going to be big on this Texas defense this year. Alrighty, and with that, we will get into the game.
The Buckeyes will kick this away
I'd
to
love
start
to be able to go to the horseshoe one day. That's interesting. Is that true?
Bring it out. It's Moore. Tackled at the 14. Not very good field position to start here.
I
Longhorns offense comes onto the field for the first time today.
They have an outside
They'll
linebacker.
go up against a secondary, Kirk, that talks about the no-fly zone. These guys are confident in their ability to just lock down wide receivers and take away the opponent's passing game.
Seems like every
So,
year
yeah,
in
Texas
college
is gonna run a
football,
lot of these,
there's secondaries around the country that want to brag that they have the
bunch
best
sets.
group of defensive backs. I think this defense and this secondary specifically has a
Man, they're
very
really
strong
improving
case with
AI
what
this
they
year.
have to
Holy
work
crap.
with. The question I have is, how will the offense consistently move the ball against this group today?
It's early, but this crowd is fired up. Listen to this noise here. This is going to be tough for the
Ryan
visitors
Wingo.
today.
Oh, no.
The Longhorns pick up enough yards to move the sticks. Well, Texas and Ohio State, the last time.
Who is that? DeAndre Moore. There it is. That makes a lot more sense. They would not have
College
Trey Moore.
football
returning kicks.
history, of course, that classic collision in the Cotton Bowl.
CJ
Jack
Baxter
Sawyer
back there for
with the
Longhorns.
strip sack and scoop and score. Oh, they trap him for a sack.
It just looked like the quarterback was holding on to the ball a bit too long that time, allowed the defense to be able to get the pressure, and then come up with the first sack of the game.
I also talked about it in my recent video, but I think Arch Manning is getting. I think he's becoming a victim of prospect fatigue. You know, people have been talking about him since he was a junior in high school, so we're at 5 years now. So I think he's kind of getting a lot of unwanted hate. And again, I talked about it in a recent video, but Steve Spurrier recently questioned why, if Archer Manning is this good, is this prodigy, why did they play him in and I think the answer to that is they had to start Quinn Ewers, because if they didn't, he would have
Dropping back. It's
and I
Manning.
think Sark knew he
Pressure
couldn't
is
win a
coming.
championship with Arch last
Looks
year.
to the left, and it's complete.
When they had a much,
Defense reacts
they were much
quickly,
more
a
likely
very
to win a
short game on the
championship
play.
with starting Quinn.
The Longhorns will line up to boot it away.
And also it gave Arch a second
He's on the
year
punt for the first time
to
this
learn behind
afternoon.
an experienced quarterback. But also it's allowing him to kind of ease his
here's
way
the
into the
return.
offense.
And the
Not
return
just
brought down by the
you're a red
defense team.
shirt and then you're starting.
Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out.
So yeah, so I think this is something that honestly a lot more coaches should do, is play the experienced guy, but obviously communicate that with the younger, more talented guy,
From the shotgun, handoff inside.
and it'll
Test
keep
the
everyone
middle
happy
and get
and
stuffed. That is just not open for business today.
keep everyone
That
happy,
back
keep
just
everyone from
had
transferring,
nowhere to go.
and
Gotta
overall
give
helps your
credit to the
roster stay
defense and their
deeper
run
and
fits
better.
on that play.
Important second down play
Man, this
coming up.
Texas defense is really good. I really like Julian Sain. I think he has a lot of potential.
Looking for
He
some
transferred
space.
from Alabama
It's
after Nick
Peoples.
Saban retired.
They test the middle of the
He's a
defense,
Southern
but
California
again,
guy.
nothing. So the
Really
offense getting
talented.
set. This
He
is
does
not where
have
you wanna
some
be against
mobility.
this defense.
Just it's in a
Third and
much
long.
different way than Lincoln Kienholz does.
Dropping
Lincoln
back,
Kienholz
looking to
is
throw for the
really
first down.
powerful. Get it over to Max
And he dumps it off to the
Clare.
tight end.
4th and inches.
They
I'm gonna
make
go
the
for it.
stop
Big game.
just short of the marker. It's getting 4th down and inches. So on
But
their first
I think
drive of
Julian
the game,
Sain's the
they'll
best
go for it
overall
in their own
passer.
territory.
But Ryan Day, in his tenure at Ohio
Here we
State,
go,
has
4th
proved the
down.
ability
They'll try
to
to run for
adapt
it.
to different
The Buckeyes
quarterbacks, whether
look to
that's
keep
CJ
this
Stroud,
drive
whether that's
moving.
Well, I know
Dwayne
analytics are going
Haskins.
to tell you to go for
He's
it
really
on 4th and
operated with
inches. It's just
different
a little bit
quarterbacks, and
scarier
he's been
doing
able
it
to
your
adapt
own
offenses
terrain.
for that.
But listen, if
It
you
also
trust
helps
your
when you have as
offense
much talented
and you trust the
talent as the
preparation
Buckeyes
you've
do.
had in these kind of
That
short yardage
makes things
situations,
a lot
I
easier.
say if they get another one of these, they go for that one too, because it clearly has worked out for them.
I've run like 5 plays and haven't gotten Jeremiah Smith the ball. I think this is a crime. 2nd and 9. Let's do this Portland mesh. Shut up,
Second
Portland.
down after that run on the previous play.
All right, Jeremiah Smith on the dig. Looks like it's going to be cover 1, so Jeremiah
To the
Smith
air,
should be
it's
open.
Sain. Defense is coming after him. Oh, the pass rush gets home.
Nothing is more gratifying for a defense to be able to sit back and play zone and still get pressure on
I think
the
this is going to
quarterback
be a
with your
really
defensive front.
entertaining game.
Now on 3rd and very long.
I think
looking
these
to throw.
teams are honestly
Moves out of
very
the pocket.
similar.
Tries to beat the pressure with a deep shot.
I think they've
Pass is
both kind of
too
been.
high, out of bounds and not complete. Buckeyes bring their
It's
punt
like
team onto the field.
like you see in professional sports. Whenever there's, let's say in the NFL, whenever there's a really good team in your division, you kind of start to model
coverage team makes
your
the
team
stop
after
on
that
this
really
return.
good team, like the Chiefs in the AFC West.
Offense out for the
So
first
I
play
think
of the
these two
drive,
teams,
beginning at the
they've been
22.
recruiting against each other now for a few years. Evan Sark has been getting Texas back on top.
Makes the catch. It's
So I
Moore.
think these
Solid
teams
gain
are
there. Moves the
very
ball out
similar
to the
with great
32.
defenses.
I love the call here by the offensive
the
coordinator,
coach really
getting
wants me
this
to blitz
wide
here, huh?
receiver involved
Guess-
early in the
guess we'll
game.
run it.
Obviously a long way to go, but you want this receiver to make a big impact today and get his confidence established early.
On first down, it's play action. Lets it go quickly. Caught over the middle. It's Moore. Brought down, but not before he gets into enemy territory at the 49. Back-to-back chunk plays to begin the drive.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes coordinator hires that they made this offseason. That's my zone.
Goes to his right side there for the completion.
I'm fine with them
The receiver does all the
right
work
now
here, man. That is
to
easy living for this quarterback. Really good footwork by the
the,
receiver, gets the
offensive coordinator
separation,
position, just
and at
because
that point, it's
he's
just pitch
obviously
and catch for the
earned it with
quarterback.
the elite NFL talent that he's produced at
Tackled
the wide
behind
receiver
the
position.
line. It's a
No one's
Wilson
produced
receiver.
more NFL-ready wide
That is
receivers.
called gap integrity. Nice job by this
So I think
defense
that
of
was a
taking away that inside run and then using their speed as the back tried to
I'm
bounce
just
out
not
to
a
the
fan of Matt
outside.
Patricia.
There's
I
just
never
no
have
room
been.
to run.
Didn't like his
Makes the
didn't
throw
like
across the
his
middle
hire
of the
in
field.
Detroit.
Makes the first down, but
honestly, I
hazy
think a
place.
lot of his,
Big hit there at the end.
New England success
Really good timing here between the quarterback
was
and the receiver.
exaggerated.
And how about the receiver
If you actually
downfield?
look
Does
at
a
the
nice
numbers,
job of
most of the
finding that
time,
open
they were
space in the
actually
zone
more
with
in
the
the 20s
defense.
in the NFL
And as a
in
defense,
total
you're
defense.
just basically throwing your hands up in the air because they had that covered relatively well.
So
Just a good play
I'm
call
not a
and
fan
good
of this Matt Patricia
execution.
hire. I'm hoping he proves me wrong, but I'm not a fan of that hire. I think
Offense
the
comes up
Buckeyes
the
should
line.
have
They might
done a
have
better job
chance
of
for a few
keeping
more plays before the
Jim
quarter
Knowles
expires.
from last year's team.
To
He
throw,
really
it's
wanted to
Manning.
stay in Columbus.
There's a throw underneath
It
the
was,
tight end.
I believe it was
But he's hammered by the
Penn State.
linebacker. What a
Penn State.
hit. Getting set for the
blasted that
second
at him.
quarter here. Both
Nice
offenses
off.
searching for a spark. They didn't do much in
Really
the
wish
first
they would
quarter at all.
have kept Jim Knowles. The Buckeyes are.
As we get lined up here for quarter number
Yeah,
2, we'll see if the
probably
offenses can get going. They didn't do much in the opening quarter.
Okay, this is the first game I've played,
Offense
so
setting up for this
forgive
third down.
any skill level lack.
Out of the gun now on third down. Receiver makes the grab. They bring him down at the 11, but it'll be first down from there. That's good execution of the pitch and catch to pick up the first down there. Nice conversion.
A really nice conversion here. To me, the route is what separated this play. And the fact that he's able to get to this point downfield.
creators
And
of
by
this
the
game
time
didn't
he
really
turned
know
around, that ball is on him. So nice route and nice hands there to be able to pick up the first
This
down.
offense from the Longhorns
Coming to the
exactly
line on
what
second
they
down.
want.
This is important. They want to avoid a third and long.
Ease Arch into the game, try to get the crowd a little quieter by running the ball and
Off an RPO, the quarterback looks to his
setting up
right.
some play action.
Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion.
I don't think we're going
They
to see
convert here
Arch
on
Manning
third
come out
down
and throw
in
the
the
ball
red
40
zone. This is a
times in the game.
four-point type of play. Touchdown
Especially with
field
as
goal.
talented of the backfield as the Longhorns have.
Drops
I think
back,
you need
needing a
that
third down
early.
completion here. He's got it right near the end zone. And he will score. Touchdown, Texas.
Is that the
Well, the call was
transfer
sort of predictable, Kirk, but that tight end is just so tough to stop down here in the red zone.
Listen, speaking on behalf of all quarterbacks, you get down into the red zone, you're looking for that big target that you can trust. He's going to run a good route, and he's got a big wingspan to allow you to make a throw up into the air. He can go up and make a catch over most defenders. Really good execution. They come up with 6.
So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. And here's the return from inside the 5. They stop him at the 23. That's solid coverage. And they'll start the drive here from the 23.
Let me know in the comments, which opening week game are you guys most excited to see this year?
Receiver in
We
motion
have
now.
South Carolina,
Scanning
Virginia
the
Tech.
field.
That'll be really
It's
good with
Sam.
Shane Beamer going back to the house
That one
that his
falls
dad built.
incomplete. Good defensive play.
Tech.
Brings up second down.
If you haven't
Everything
in this
about
game,
this
go
play
ahead and do
tells
the
you about
intro.
offenses and what they're
To
asking
Virginia
out of
Tech,
their
they
running
got
backs.
Enter Sandman
You can't just
in
be
the
a guy
game
who
this year,
runs
so
the
that's very
football anymore.
exciting.
You have to be able to catch it as well.
Breaks into the clear.
They wanted to do it last year, but obviously
Setting the tone early with good
that's a
runs
very
like this
expensive
can
song,
really
so
wear
it's
defense offense down
and they honestly
keep
weren't
the
sure
defense
how
guessing.
successful the
That's
game
why
was
some of the
going
best
to be last
coaches of
year.
all time have
So
primarily
because of
done
the
it with
success
great
of
run
last year's
games.
game,
There's the tackle, but first down yardage. The Buckeyes come to the line to set a fresh set of downs.
Again, I still haven't got Jeremiah Smith the ball. I'm going to try
On
to
first and 10
get
here,
him the
looking
ball.
to throw the ball.
Greenan is too open.
It's complete.
Michael Taft.
Heads out of bounds after a
Hands on the
solid
tackle.
gain.
Well, this wide receiver has it
At
all.
SEC
We know
Media
about his
Days
leaping
last
ability and
year,
his
Michael Taft
speed.
had a really
What I've
special
seen
tie
today
and
is the
had a
precise
mission
route running.
for
Another
victims
example
for
of it there, and the
Central Texas
timing with this
floods
quarterback and this
every
receiver is just a thing of beauty.
So, very sweet guy. A lot of experience.
That's a solid gain. Moves the football inside the 40. First and 10. Completion good for first down yardage for this offense. Offense moving receivers around now before the snap.
Maybe I'll get lucky.
They flip it to him on the jet sweep. Stock right there at the line. No gain.
Let's see. Second 11, I don't like play action. I'll try this X Man.
Here's the second down play.
Obviously, week 1 we also have Clemson,
On the
LSU.
shotgun,
That'll be a really
drops
good
back,
one.
looking for an open
battle
man.
over
Taking a shot
who's the
deep
real
toward
Death
the end
Valley.
zone.
There's
Oh,
already
it's
been a lot of
batted
smack
down
talk.
by the defense. Great
I
play
think
to deny a
that'll make a
touchdown.
great game.
Seventh play of the drive coming up, but it is third down
Obviously, it's
and
just week
long.
1, so it's great to have
Looking to
football
throw
back.
again. It's caught. Nice
Florida
pitch
State,
and catch.
Alabama. Obviously,
And they
Tony
convert
Castellano
on
for
third.
the
Football at
Seminoles.
the 20 now. First down in the red zone.
Let's see.
What a clutch play here by this offense to convert on third down. I know it's still
Tommy
early in
Castellanos
this
has been
game,
talking a
but
lot
the
of
fact that
smack
they
for the
dug
Florida State
themselves
Seminoles,
a
so
hole to convert there and keep
I
this
don't know.
drive alive, they got a
I
new
just
set
don't
of
see it.
downs
The Florida
and a
State
chance
Seminoles
to dig
were
into
really
this lead.
bad last year, so I think it's going to take a lot more than just one offseason to
Pickup is 5 yards, so
that
it's
and
second
be able
down
to
and
compete
5.
with Alabama. I'm also a lot higher on
Buckeyes
Alabama
looking
than I
to
think
take
a lot of people
advantage of
are.
the red zone trip here.
Again, they have another very intriguing
Same tailback, another carry.
quarterback battle. They
They
have
tackle him, but a solid gain down to around the
Kalen
5-yard
Russell,
line.
very talented true
You know,
freshman.
offensive linemen are
Again,
just a certain breed. They're
I'm
always
hesitant to
gonna
ever
do
say a
their
true
job,
freshman is
no
going to be
matter
the week 1
who's back there
starter,
carrying the
especially in
ball.
today's
You know
modern
what?
era.
They have
Transfer
a
portal.
little bit more confidence when the person that's carrying the ball
So,
can break off some big time runs.
I think that
makes
nod
them
is going
block
to
just
go
a
to
little bit
Quinn
harder. No.
Let's see. I think I'm going to have to move my mouth closer to the mic to get louder.
Potentially capable of doing.
To make my voice louder.
He's got it near the end zone. And he scores.
I think Carnell Tate's going to take a big leap this year. Like I said, he was a really young guy last year, and I think
puts the ball where his man can make a play on it, and they're an extra
a lot of
away from
fans
tying this game up.
weren't giving him enough credit for just how young he is, and I think he can really step into a big role this year. Another offseason with Brian Hartline. Obviously, that makes anyone better. Another year under Brian Hartline. So.
And it's up and good.